So my bonus, how can we turn movement like sliding into sh-movement? Well, that's simple. You put a chainsaw on your leg. Some games let you slide like you're covered in lube. Some games let you slide into enemies like you're a truck. But in Turbo Overkill, thanks to cybernetic enhancements, we're now sliding through the competition. You know, I always thought I wanted robotic boner enhancements if I ever made it to the year 2077. But now I think I'm reconsidering my options. This game has everything we've seen before. Sliding, double jumping, wall running. But this experience's layer of paint and the chainsaw leg really does something to give it its own identity. And sliding through enemies adds the slightest but most satisfying layer to the combat that doesn't get old. Meow. Pew 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 pew. Meow. There's even these segments where there's hundreds of grunts all stacked up perfectly into this human meat grinder. Sometimes when you slide through an enemy, you'll only cut off their lower extremities. You know what I say? Hit it again and make it a spare. Hey, don't look at me like I'm a psychopath. In my eyes, I'm just doing the Morgue a favor. I love the weapon swapping and variants you can use. You can turn your LMG into a flamethrower, use a double barrel as a grenade launcher, shock an enemy which causes it to take more damage. There's a few playstyles like building into aerial mobility with the explosive landing upgrade, thanks to the verticality that the game offers, or you can build it to a full Beyblade build with all the chainsaw upgrades available. I think the choice is pretty obvious. I feel like the locations were pretty sick, while other times the world kind of blended in due to its color palette. One location has these pretty boats lit up in the water, or this factory location where these walls are these digital screens that you can go inside of, or this strange overhead aquarium with this menacing looking shark. I'm telling you, this thing better not be to come to life. And the same can be said for the enemies where I'm just shooting shit, and the only time I'm like, okay, gotta lock in, is when I fight something blatantly massive. There's nothing wrong with this. The game looks nice, the aesthetic and enemy designs are cool, but you're just going too damn fast to really appreciate the little details in these massive areas. Something that I really did adore, however, is the inspiration. Hey, why are you looking at me? I'm getting sprinkles of media from all over, like a little bit of Borderlands here. A chunk of Cyberpunk there. A lot of Doom and Quake here. I said Doom and Quake. We don't talk about him here. He makes people go crazy. The collectibles are also well designed, where the collectibles are hard to find for completionist's sake, and the more essential gameplay upgrade secrets are much easier to find, which gives you these little hits of, ooh, what upgrade am I gonna get next? There is a story, but that brings up an entire question on its own. Do I prefer moving my brain or my fingers more? I definitely recommend Turbo Overkill, and there's a demo for you to give it a shot. Oh, you thought I was gonna talk about it more? I mean, if you want to pay for my bills, sure. But until then, this is all you get. Now subscribe or I'll shoot. Ow. Boomerang X was surprisingly good. And I'm not only saying that because I'm a Genji main. The game starts off slow, with a projectile boomerang that you can do half teleport, half slingshots to. Just as soon as you start getting used to the movement and the mechanics, boom, new ability. As soon as you get used to that, boom, new ability. And that loop doesn't stop happening until the end of the game, which isn't that long to be honest. As your arsenal expands, so does the verticality of the arenas and the hordes you face. One level is a sewer, the next is a jungle, and before you know it, you're at a goddamn volcano. Every time a new enemy is introduced, it's slow and digestible for the first wave. It's like, oh, I see his gimmick. Yeah, he's trying to hide his weak point from me. That's not so bad. And then the game's like, oh, you don't think that's that bad, huh? Well, try doing it with this wave. It feels like going from expert to expert plus on Beat Saber, and I freaking love it. Sorry, I don't have enough production funds to make this look good. You might be saying, wow, that looks like BS, but you're constantly given these resources to overcome these obstacles, like a shuriken shotgun blast, or a piercing sniper shot if you want to straight up ignore the enemy's weak points. There's an ability where if you get enough aerial kills without touching the ground, you cause an explosion when touching the next enemy or floor. It's just insane how well each of these mechanics and enemy designs complement one another. The boss alone told me how much thought and effort was put into these encounters, as every mechanic was perfectly suited for this fight. And I'm sad to say that it was the only one. Again, the game is really short. There is a New Game Plus mode that revisions the fights for more experienced players, and the game is just so freaking good that it has that replay value alone. But I'm hoping for some more content in the future, which it's not gonna happen. The finals is basically if you gave a kindergarten a box full of guns. Okay, if you gave a group full of unsupervised individuals a box of gadgets and trinkets and told them to go buck wild. No restrictions, no boundaries, experiment. The sheer amount of versatility with each of these gadgets is endless. It reminds me of Ultrakill, where every other day a new trick or tech comes out and it's like, why didn't I think of that? Or more like, how the fuck did you think of that? If you don't know what the finals is, it's an FPS where 3 teams of 3 consisting of a mix of light, medium, and heavy classes all clash over objectives, claiming and defending them until they cash out. There are a few other modes like TDM, a CSGO style mode, Power Shift, and Ranked. Each class has their own arsenal and set of gadgets to unlock. The light is the harasser. With their cloak, dash, or grapple, they focus on a few playstyles like flanking and close quarters combat, or an angle holder with their steady SMGs and snipers. The medium is more of a support, even though light was given the best healing gadget in the game, which deprives medium of its support identity. They are the most versatile of the bunch, normally being played as the tape that holds the team together. They can place jump pads or zip lines to reposition and gain high ground with their team. The medium is just a good PB&J sandwich, fit for everybody, unless you have a peanut allergy, which means you probably shouldn't eat PB&J sandwiches. The heavy is the initiator, the tank, capable of great defense and offense. They can charge through walls and break the environment for rotations or catching the enemy off guard, or they can use the goo gun to counter said actions. They have RPGs and sledgehammers to crumble buildings, a flamethrower that can cause havoc in small areas, and a winch that can initiate teamfights, which makes for some easy picks. If you can't tell, I really like the heavy. Obviously, everything I'm saying can be applied to each class. Some perform these roles better than others, but it really depends on your playstyle. As every class, you can mantle and clamber surfaces, making for some convenient shortcuts with window hopping. The medium's dematerializer is probably the most badass and unique gadget I've ever seen in a game. You can use it as a flanking tool, a repositioning tool, a make your own stairway tool. Depending on whose hands this gadget is in, it can make this tool look absolutely pointless, or it can be a Pandora's box of freedom. The heavy's deployable shield can be used as a DIY platform, which can be used to get some easy high ground, or unique rotations. The heavy's charge can be used to catch enemies off guard, or for an easy snatch on prey who are trying to run for their lives. Moves like this just make me want to. The medium's jump pad can make for some easy rotations or smooth high ground takes. Sliding onto these give you an extra boost of speed, and placing jump pads on a slope can increase this even further. You like Minecraft? You don't play Minecraft? Well, the heavy's goo gun can be used for some DIY block jumping, or used to scale the side of buildings if you have bathmophobia. Yeah, I'm surprised this is a thing. Even the insane amount of destruction in this game alone completely changes the way entire buildings are shaped and accessed. Explosions in battle will naturally create new ramps and pathways. Every single match is like a constantly shifting map, completely dictated by the player's actions. I can go on, even going as far as talking about the unconventional and impractical movement tech, like grappling off your grenade, or whatever this is. Although I would consider all this game's weird techie movement to be unconventional. But that's what the game wants. They want you to place a shield and use it for every purpose besides an actual shield. This design philosophy makes every match feel so unique, all while the skill ceiling constantly grows and heightens. Just like my sub count, because you're gonna subscribe and like, right? And with that being said, I've run out of time. So again, subscribe, become a member for emotes and the brand spanking new milk badge. Join the Discord where we do community game nights every now and then. Drink your calcium and know that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And if you don't believe in yourself, just know that I believe in you. Peace.